Oh, good morning, boys. Good morning, fellas. Sorry for being a little late. Classic Binfi fashion. I did show up late, but my bad. My bad. However, I do kind of have a pretty decent excuse, which is what I wanted to talk about today. I think it's going to be pretty obvious the moment I turn on my camera. But if you guys have been around for a while, I think it's you guys won't be too surprised. But what's up, guys? I think it's pretty clear. I am bald. But yeah, I am bald. I am bald. Side to side. For those of you who don't know, actually, my mother, it's actually been almost 5 years. She was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer about 5 years ago. And she, just about the start of this month, started going through actual chemotherapy for the past, say, 4 years. She's been on and off of like chemo drugs, other different medications, and she hasn't had to go through actual like chemotherapy. She's been going through chemotherapy through oral drugs. So it's been like that for a couple of 3-4 years, and they kind of switch her on and off of like different types of drugs and different like the dosage, stuff like that. But recently, at the start of this month, none of the drugs were really working anymore, and so her doctor decided that it was time to go on chemotherapy. So at the start of the month, she had started that process, and quickly, almost immediately actually, after the first session, she immediately started feeling, obviously pretty horrible. Chemotherapy is not really the nicest thing to your body, as it kind of you basically toast your body from the inside out, and obviously it was kind of taking a toll on her, and I think you can tell where this is going. But at some point in the middle of this month, she already started losing her hair, so she decided that it was probably best to shave her head. And so, in support of my mom, I decided to also do the same, and that is why I look like an egg. You can even see my hairline. You like that? You like that or what? Honestly, not bad. But yeah, so my mom has shaven her head, and my dad has shaven her head, and I have also shaven my head in support of my mom, which is also why I got this nice hat. I guess the small bright side of that thing is she was also put on a trial for a new drug, I guess. The doctor applied her to some like drug trial that for like some new different cancers or something like that, and she's on it now. And I just want to clarify, she's not in like a horrible condition. She's not like at her lowest. It's just the mix of like a new type of drug and going on chemotherapy just takes a little bit of a toll on her body, I think, as you can tell. So she's been pretty low energy of recently, but these past couple of days she's done a lot better. But this goes on to the point where why I was late for the stream today. If I'm gonna be honest, her starting chemotherapy has not been the best on my my sleep schedule and my mental. Whenever something bad happens to my her cancer, you kind of get sleepless nights. It's a little hard to fall asleep at night. Kind of hits you, especially like being bald. It's kind of like a wake up, touching your head. Although I guess the one bright side to like being bald, I haven't like done like a buzz cut in ages. My head's like a big fidget spinner, you know what I mean? Like I can't stop touching it. Like this feels great. I could do this for hours. I literally, for the past, I think 2 weeks, I've gone to bed around like 9 a.m. My sleep's not been the best, especially yesterday. I'm actually on 2 hours of sleep right now. I went to bed at somehow like around 11 a.m. because I just couldn't sleep, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'll probably make a command for it at some point because I know people are going to ask me about it, but I'll also probably put this on YouTube so I don't have to re-explain myself a couple hundred times. I don't mind though. I guess that's like the only real sad news, but that's kind of been what's been holding me back these past couple of weeks. Here's the thing. Obviously, because I live in Canada, our healthcare has been a big help in the cancer treatment. So my mom doesn't have to pay for any of the chemotherapy or like the really harsh stuff that is to deal with cancer. But they do have to pay for the medicine, the oral medicine, which isn't a lot. It ranges anywhere between like anywhere from between $150 to like $300, I think, is what they last told me. And I pay for their drugs. It's been a little bit of a toll, just financially, paying, supporting myself, especially since I've been slagging on YouTube, but supporting myself, as well as I pay for my, my parents, like any of like the drug fees, their utility, their phone, their internet, their TV, etc. So, but other than that, that's kind of what's been keeping me up a little. Just, you know, my mom going through chemo has been a bit of a wake-up call for me. But that out of the way, a lot of you have been asking when the next OSU event is, or if I'm ever doing another OSU event. And my answer to that is yes. I will be doing one more OSU event. I have the date as of right now for May 6th. It will be, I don't know if it'll be the last, but it'll be a while till I ever consider doing another one. And it'll probably be a big one. It'll be a big one. The only thing I've got so far that I can kind of share with you is that the prizes will range anywhere between from 1 month to 1 year. It'll be fun. I don't know if it'll be the last one. I don't really play OSU that much. I still like the game. It's just physically, I actually just can't play it anymore. But I do have a video planned. As of right now, I do have a schedule. After I make a video about this whole small little announcement, I have a video that I've been editing, which involves Mr. J. Little sneak peek. I did an interview with Jay about an OSU interview about, you know, his whole journey through OSU. So that'll be the next video. But after that, it will also be the OSU event, which will be May 6th. And then within the next week after that, I'll probably upload that as a video as well. And then nearing the end of May, I don't have a date for this yet. I have said this before, but I am doing another subathon. It depends on how fast I edit the OSU event video, but there will be another one. This one's mostly like, I just, you know, I sort of, initially when I decided to do another subathon, it was purely out of fun. You know, I love streaming. Yeah, I said before, I do love streaming. I think it is actually pretty fun to just, you know, call me psychotic, but I think it's kind of fun to just like not end stream sometimes and just like watch my watch me go into complete sleep depravity on live. But it is fun, like, you know, just being with you guys for X amounts of hours. But I think with my mom also, you know, going through chemo now, it gives me another excuse, I guess, to help me financially. Just because like I want to be able to support my mom. She's also really ignorant about getting a wheelchair, and Canada actually doesn't cover a wheelchair unless they deem like she needs it. So if she can still walk, they won't give her a wheelchair. They'll give her a walker, but they won't give her a wheelchair. From how I look at it, I think she could use a wheelchair. It would be kind of nice with whatever I earn from the subathon, help use it towards my parents and supporting them. So that's kind of the plan for the subathon. The last thing, I guess, I kind of want to announce is that there's a pretty high chance that I actually move back in with my parents. Not in their house, though, because obviously, like, I have so much more stuff compared to the last time I lived with them. But, you know, sort of like, it's been kind of, I've been getting a lot of sleepless nights, I think, because of this. And, you know, just staying away from my parents has been one of the things I've been looking forward to as an adult, you know, after moving, because I've been living alone for the past 2 years. And initially I had moved away because I just wanted to live independently, because I felt like I sort of needed it for myself and, you know, my you know, quote unquote job. At this point, I'm starting to get more and more stressed not being with my mom as she slowly, you know, deteriorates in her health. So I think the idea that, you know, I'm not there when my mom needs me the most is kind of affecting me kind of mentally. So I would like to, I don't know if I will, but we'll see. I do think there's a chance that I move back in with my parents and just move into like a different place with them. I don't know, it's kind of hard. I think anyone who's ever lived with a family member that has cancer can kind of understand. Like, it's already hard enough like living with them because they're so worried if, you know, tomorrow they'll be there, but, you know, when you're not with them, it's just like you're out of control. Especially since I don't have a car, it's even more nerve-wracking that like if something were to happen, I can't drive over to them. So it's a bit of a rough thing to think about. But I don't live with me. Oh, because I moved out to get away from them, which sounds really fucked up. My relationship with my parents at the time wasn't the best because it was a little too much for me. It was like I felt suffocated, so I wanted to move out. And it was fine for the first 2 years. They actually like were completely okay with it. But after each update, I sort of started to realize like whenever my mom gave me updates about her cancer, it really affected me. And I just would lose sleep over it. A lot of my sleepless nights are usually because like I just think about, you know, kind of realizing like every time my mom like brings up the fact like she would tell me about her, you know, how her monthly checkups were, her monthly injections, and, you know, getting like some days it was really well where the doctor was like your liver, like, you know, her liver, her heart you know, we were great. And then some days they would tell her like some certain areas the cancer is really growing, and like it's a lot more aggressive in some areas. You know, her like growing, especially in her lungs, was like extremely stressful, because like that's the one thing you don't want, is the cancer getting to the heart and lungs. So hearing news about that is like bound to just go into, you know, sleepless nights. So it's been a little rough. Not the best. Nice hairline, man. Looks good. No, it's fine. I don't mind the bald jokes. I don't. If anything, I'm all for it. It's just, as long as you know that I'm bald because I did it for my mom, then I don't really care if you make fun of my head. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been. I'm sorry for disappearing as usual, but I don't know. It also didn't help seeing Kaide as well with her cancer. That, I think that made it a lot worse, because like I overthink stuff. Like at night when I am in my pitch black room, that is when I start going into like this spiral of like the future and how it's gonna be, you know. And then seeing Kaide with her cancer was just honestly made it so much worse. It made me I just couldn't avoid it, you know what I mean? It's like and I know it's horrible to think about, but it's like it's unavoidable, you know, where you just sort of just think about like what it's gonna be like, you know, when they're not there, and then what it's gonna be like with only one. You know, it's a hard thing to take in, and as much as I don't want that to happen, as pessimistic as it sounds, as much as I don't want that to happen, it's like I have no control over whether it happens or not. So it's sort of existing with the time I have right now. I've always said like years ago that I'm not really living on my time right now. Every night is sort of a night to think about what it's gonna be like in the next year, next 2 years. But you know, I will say my mom is quite the trooper. 5 years at stage 4, kind of a beast, not gonna lie. That's kind of why I've been slacking on everything. I know I always go in and out of being active on YouTube and Twitch, and I apologize for that. I really do. Like, I love you guys, and I hate leaving you guys in the dark all the time. And I'm not really good at managing my socials either, because I feel like social media sometimes just doesn't help when it comes to making me mentally stable. Some nights I open like Twitter and I see Dream post a fucking... Actually, no, sometimes it does help. You know, when I see Dream post like his autobiography about like the SMP or something, and realizing that he's a prime example of why like they should never have increased the Twitter limit. No hate on Dream, but like holy fuck, that tweet was crazy. You know, that made me, it gave me a giggle, helped me, you know, like lose some, helped me forget a couple of things. I mean, I don't have cancer, but living with it is not just as hard, but it's fucking hard. I will tell you what, especially when it's your mom. It's just it's like every day is just, you wake up, I get a call from my parents, it's a mini heart attack every time, you know. It's like when I call my dad, or when my dad calls me, it's just like is this a call to let me know like he's coming over, or if they need something, or just checking up on me, or is this like I'm gonna pick you up so we can go to the hospital, you know? I just, a little tough. This is the I honestly, like, it kind of hit me when we did this, because me and my parents have never taken a group photo in like since my graduation. So, and you guys have never seen my mom either, so this will be the first time you see my mom, but she has no hair. And you'll see my dad, but this shit honestly makes me like, it's a cute photo. I think you can tell this time I'm actually not Filipino. I think you can clearly see that my parents are not Filipino. Should have taken the photo lower. We wanted to see those toes. Okay, like... Wait, couldn't you see my toes in that? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, as always. Say hi to Jay for me. Tell him he's bald. No, he's not bald. Tell him I'm bald.